Alright, I'm back. Let's see where I was. I think last time I ended up getting the templating working. Yeah. Based off of the config, and now I need to actually start building the pages. So one thing I need to do, well, I guess there were a couple things I wanted to do. First off was in here, when I wrote the logic with mustache. Let's see. Okay. 269. All of this. I left myself what to do to turn it into some sort of function that could deal with deeper paths, not just a flat file structure. And I want to actually go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go create a directory called test depth, and then in here I want to create a new actually I'll just save this site templates, test depth, test.html. Oh, whoops. It needs to be in here. Okay. So I want this to be in here, and I want the end goal, I guess, of this is for that file to end up in here, where it currently is not. So let's come up here and create a new function. Or, I don't know, I think process HTML templates. One thing we'll have to start off with is the parent directory, which is a, oh, that's right, I'm doing a TypeScript, so it has to have, it's a string. And then I'll have, no. Yeah, sure, HTML directory, which is also a string. Instead of parent, parent directory, I'll do template directory, so all the variable names stay the same. So down here I have all this, and that'll go into here. Yeah, okay, so the goal here is to get rid of this. Whoops. This should just be a call to, I don't even remember what I called it. How do you, let's see. Forget how to do markers and like jumping. Jump back. Let's see. Control O. Control O. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. So I want that, and I want it to be, oops, there, and then HTML. Okay, that's what I wanted it to look like. I'll go ahead and get rid of this to do because it'll all be done at this point. I'm going to make sure it's done, I guess. So I have files, and then I also want directories. I wonder if there's a way that, oh, yeah. So I'm just going to do const directory entries is equal to this, and then files is just going to be directory entries, and then filtered, and then I don't have to call directory entries all those times, or the redir sync, I guess I should say. This is directories, so now I have my files and I have my directories. I don't need, actually, yeah, I'll do, oops. I'll do this, and then I'll do directories. Okay. So for each file, that's not true, but I do need to make sure that it is an HTML. If I have a file, right now I only have the name. I wonder if I can do like, and name ends with .html. What's JavaScript ends with? Okay, I thought that there was. And entry dot name dot ends with dot html, and then I actually want to move that down here. Yeah, and this, just for cleanliness, I'll do the same there. So I get the directory entries. The files are anything that, file, template copy over .html files. Okay. So at this point, I know that all of this is going to be done with HTML files. And then what I want to do is recursively process templates with the name of the new directories that I found, and I'll just use the same HTML directory. And then this recursive function will end this recursive function will end whenever there are no more directories. I guess it kind of makes sense. This is the part that I'm curious about, just to make sure that the recursive stuff works. But let's walk through it and see if it all makes sense. So we are going to process HTML templates, starting off with the template directory site templates and the HTML directory site. Then we're going to read all of the entries in that directory, so in site templates. We're going to filter by HTML files and directories. The files part I know will work, except maybe not that dir entry.name.ends with. Pretty sure that'll work because it seems fairly straightforward, but I guess we'll find out. So I know all the file stuff works, so from line 21 on. Then let's say we get down here. So what should happen, what I hope happens, is the directories will have test depth in it. Test depth will then get process HTML templates called with it as the new template directory and the same HTML directory. So then it will come back up to line 19. It will read itself. It will only find files which are test HTML. There will be no directories. So the recursion will stop at this depth. We'll log everything. The files will run and it will move test to where it needs to be. So that would be one thing. The HTML directory, or yeah, I need to, this will flatten it. So I need to find a way to keep track of the path, and then I guess kind of strip it off, if that makes sense. So HTML directory should just replace template directory in the template path in order to find the new HTML path. And that's all that should happen. Because what this will do right here is it'll take template path will be site template / template depth or test depth, and then file is test.html. HTML path would be site / test HTML. So this part would not work. This would just end up pushing test up, but I want to keep the file structure of site templates. Yeah. So how would I do that? I know this works. Yeah, maybe I could keep track of like the original template directory, or like the parent template directory, and then pass in the child path, and then I could just replace the top level directory with HTML directory in the path, in this path. I don't deal with much recursion, so this is kind of new to me. Either way, right now I'm not preserving the structure, but I need to be. So, let's see. I'll call this root directory. We'll call this destination directory. And then we'll call this current child directory. Yeah. Okay, so what did I change? It was template directory to root. I didn't need to do that. But I will have to change the HTML. I didn't have to do that either. Yeah, where am I? Okay. Okay, I don't know why I decided to change those names when I did, but so we have the template directory, and that's where it starts. I'll take notes here. Template directory is the root. Root is the top level directory. All the templates are stored. Current child directory is the current path underneath the template directory that we are processing. And then we have HTML directory is where processed HTML templates should be written. Okay. So I think that means that down here I will want to make this just the root. So the current child is just going to start at where the template directory is. I don't know if that works with redursync, but I hope it does. That means that in here we need some magic to use current child directory. I actually don't need that. Oops. So we're going to look through template directory and then current child directory, and that will start as just the template directory pretty much. That will give us the directory entries. We'll look through the files of those entries. That should be all fine and dandy. Then we get to the files and the template path. I might oh, what? Does it not? It might. It's whatever. Might make this a variable. Because in the files it's going to change. In the files it's going to be template path is template directory plus child, current child directory / file. So I'm going to do something called current directory is equal to that. And then I don't know, it won't match those quotes, but so we have current directory, and that's what's going to be here. And then this one is going to be HTML directory, current child directory and then file. So that will match the path that we're in. Template path. Okay, no, that's fine. Because that would be current directory, which is template directory slash current child directory slash file. I think that would maintain its structure. This would inject that structure into the HTML directory. And then in here, we would need current directory slash directory, so we maintain the current directory and then we just go deeper into it. HTML directory stays the same. Where's template directory used? There might be a better way to do this. It's not used anywhere else. Oh, but okay, never mind. I have to because I need to keep track of the current child dictionary. I was gonna say I could. Template directory is only used in one place. Why do I need to maintain it? But I need to maintain it solely because that I was just going to replace template directory and current child directory in this recursive call with just whatever current directory is. But I need to keep the current child directory because of what I said earlier before I started refactoring this. That I need to maintain the structure underneath the template directory. I need to maintain it somehow, and that's through the current child directory. So the current child directory becomes this. And then in front of that, we have the template directory. So the template directory and the HTML directory do not change in the recursive call. That data that is passed in will maintain itself throughout all of the recursive calls. What changes is the current child directory. And as you get deeper in, it will maintain its structure, or it'll change its structure in the recursive calls. I think. That's the thought. Let's see if it actually does what I want it to. That's always the hard part, right? You can do it all you want, but it may or may not function as you have tried to program it. It may or may not function with the intent with which you programmed it. Test depth, test HTML. I don't know where it got the extra slash. That might just be a test depth such. Oh, you know why? It's because no such file or directory. It's site slash test depth. So HTML directory. I don't know why this one somehow got an extra slash on it. Oh, I know why. Because current child directory. What if I just leave this blank? What if I... Either I will remember this or the comment on this function will, yeah. because of this. Because I added a slash. So it's slash slash. The current child directory begins as slash, and then I put a slash on it. So I think maybe if I just leave it as nothing, it'll be what it originally was. But I just realized I didn't have my mic pulled out. If that entire first, I don't know, 30 minutes of this was super quiet, that's why. My apologies. I don't even know how to so I was, if it wasn't clear, if my talking didn't come through, what I was trying to do originally was do the to-do that I had left myself last time, which was to make process HTML templates, or make this little code snippet that I had before that worked, that processed the HTML templates into a function, a recursive function that would handle multiple levels of a file structure. Because at the current state, at the state it was in, it would only do a flat file structure. So I made it into a function, and then I realized that I needed to keep track of the state of the current child directory so that that could be mirrored in the HTML directory. And I was dealing with all the beautiful beautiful things that come with recursive functions. I am now, I believe, at the point where it tried to do what it wanted to, but we got to this site when it was trying to write, and the problem was that I believe the problem is that there was no such file or directory. It was the directory test depth, and since there was no test depth, I need to add a flag, if it's possible, to this write file sync, which will create the directory if it does not exist. Oh boy, excuse me, I'm all over the place this morning. I think this is part of just Node.fs, write file sync. And let's see if there's a flag, if I can add it. Yeah, an option, support of file system flags. I think I should be able to like write or create a directory if it doesn't exist. Fails at the path exists. I think this, I can try with A. Files created, what is W? Files created if it doesn't exist, or truncated if it exists. Truncated. What is that word? I thought I knew what it was. Shortened and duration without its top red. Yes, okay. So it just overwrites it pretty much. Okay. I think what I need to do is, I think this is where, oh my. Can I create a directory? Open dir. Maybe it's that. Is there like a creator? Make dir, that's the one. There's probably a make dir sync. Asynchronously creates a directory. I don't want it to be asynchronous. And the recursive true. Okay, so I think this is what I want. I just have to find a synchronous version of it. Make dir sync. That's the one. So what I need in here, HTML child directory is this. Yes. And that's what goes there. And then I will, I can read it, and then before I write it, I want FSC dot, what is it? Maker sync with that as the path, and I will do recursive true. And let's try that. Ooh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. How do I delete this? Alright. I need to delete this first, I believe, and then I can delete this. There we go. I want to sync this again and watch it appear magically. Aha, there it is. And let's do it again just for good measure to make sure that we can overwrite things and there are no problems with that. Does console log anywhere else? No? Okay. There's the function. So that's how there's one to do done. Good. Alright. So now I know that I can do that stuff recursively. I don't need this anymore, but the function's there when I do. I think what I need to do is figure out how I want to handle the sign-in and stuff. Yeah. Because right now, I have it as like, I have my client stuff in there, and I don't know if that's something that, you know, you can't just like take that over. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really need the client. The client secret isn't actually a secret. I guess so what I'm babbling on about. With CrowAuth, and I also don't want to make this too CrowAuth specific, but I guess I kind of have to with the pages. Anyway, just the authorization flow. There's a client ID and secret, or application ID and secret. The ID doesn't really matter. Or I guess the ID matters. The secret doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, this is coming from a front end application, and odds are that yeah, if it's coming from a front end, if a client's supposed to interact with it, it's not really going to matter. That secret doesn't actually matter, and I could actually just take it out of CrowAuth and pass the application ID some other way. What matters is that the user is logging into the correct application, and it doesn't necessarily have to be through. So this is kind of bulky anyway, and I could and maybe should get rid of it. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But what matters is, yeah, that the email and password from the user is mapped to the correct ID, app ID. So how do I want to do that? I think I need a form. Well, I know I need a form. And I found, actually yesterday, it wasn't on stream, but I did find something that I thought would be useful. So shout out to this guy for writing this up. It's for a form, and there's an API, the form data API, that takes in, it's like an on-call. I guess you add the event listener there, but it's a submission on a form, and you can take the event target, construct form data out of it, and then you can just turn it into an object with object entry. There it is. You can just turn it into an object. And then you have the value of it, which I think this is exactly what I wanted. And this is probably how I'm going to go ahead and make my form in here. I think my attempt is going to be, let's see. No. No. How do you invent change inside of a... It's not that. I thought Vim was pretty good with HTML inside. I thought it was tags. But what is it called? Inner tag? Yeah, this TT. I don't know why it doesn't pick up the H1, it just picks up the body. Oh, because I don't end it. That's why. There we go. So I want this to be sign in. And then this, I'm just going to paste the form in. Don't need that. Whoa. Sometimes my Vim's slow. Weirdly enough. Body goes in there. Is that right? Yep, okay. So there's the submit, I'll call it sign in. We have email. Password. I want to change email to password on this line only. Okay, that didn't work. I still have some work to do on my Vim search and replace, but so I have email, password, and then I need some JavaScript. I'm going to make this in a separate file. No, I don't need that. So let's make a new file called signin.js, and then I'll put the function in there. This is handle submit for the sign in. We want to prevent the default, get the data, get the value of the data, and then I'll just log it true. For the form, add event listener on submit, except it's not called submit, it's called sign in. I'm incorrect. So I might need to change this because now I'm putting JavaScript in there. Oh, I guess it shouldn't be in here, should it? It should be in site/signin.js. So unless it's templated, it just needs to be over there. Oops. Yeah, okay. That's where I should be working on that. So that should handle, that should add everything in. And then in the HTML, I need to add a script tag. And I do not actually know what that looks like. Yeah, I know there's like a, yeah, I think that's what I do. I've definitely seen that before, and the source is signin.js. I don't know. The good thing is, I don't think I have to actually push this to S3 to test it. I will, just to make sure, after I get it to work locally, make sure that it works in AWS the same way or in CloudFront the same way, just so I don't have to always go back and forth. Sorry, not back and forth, just so I don't always have to go oh, cool. Okay. Don't have to always push it. Don't always have to deploy it. Can't access event. Add event listener. Form is null. I don't know how query selector works, so. How does it work, Mozilla? So nothing was found. Does it have to be at the bottom of the document? Maybe it hasn't been created yet? Does HTML run sequentially? Maybe it does. These scripts are all underneath it. I don't know. Let's try that though. So take that out. And do I put it in the body? Where does the script tag go? I'm so bad at this. I want that. Maybe. You can add it. Just add a tag. Generally goes in the head. Keep it contained. Yeah, you can just add it straight in the. Okay. does run sequentially. Maybe I could think of it as running sequentially. Okay, so you put in the body, working with a separate file. Oh yeah, I should definitely put that in sites. Probably needs to, let's see. That's where I should be working with it. Source is just JS. Yeah. Okay. Let's reload it. Loading failed. Oh, just have to synth it again. That might be kind of annoying. I could change in both places, but I mean, I don't know. It might be kind of annoying. Did that work? Please enter an email. How did it? Okay. And? Aha! So that worked. So I just can't have it. It has to be underneath the form? I don't really like that. So the form has to have been created before I can reference it in here. I mean, if that's what happens, if that's what has to happen, I guess I'm not gonna, I don't know. I guess it has to be that way. Sure. Okay. Cool. So there's that. Now I just need to make this, I need to make this, oh no. Maybe I will update crow auth, because what I would have to do, which isn't all that bad, but I would have to make it, grab the application ID, or grab a JWT from application sign in, and then use that to sign in the user. But that's more complex for not much benefit. It's just 2 calls instead of 1, where if it was just like put the application ID in the header here, like X application ID, that would be much easier instead of actually like signing the user in. I don't know. Let's explore the consequences of something like that. How does like auth 0 do it? How do you tell it who you are or what application you are? Sample. Where's the APIs? I don't care if it's your SDK. Maybe there's like a way to. Maybe they have a way to, like, you initialize it with. Aha, there we go. Initialize it with your client ID. Yeah, that's how they do it. So that's probably what. Yeah. That's probably what I should move crow auth to. Yeah. Yeah. They have a domain and a client ID. Oh, I see. So it knows like what tenant to hit probably. Okay, well, I'll probably have to do that. Either way, I have this part working, so that's good. That's signing in. What about signing up? This HTML is going to look ugly, and that's fine. I expected it to, and I'll style it later. Let's sign in. We want an email. We want a password. I think that's how. Do you want to create a user? Oh, this is different. Sign up. Yeah, it's an email and a password. It's the same thing. And then this would be a sign up. And then this would be sign up. And I'll write this as site.js, sign up.js. And I'll go over to this one. And I want to pull those values out. I just want it to be its own file. So that's sign up. And then when you verify, you just need your verification token. Oh. Verify HTML. Where's my, oh. It's over here. Sign up, sign in, verify, reset password. Did it not? No. Verify.html, and we'll also do, what's it called? These might not actually, I might not actually need all this templating that I installed and wrote these functions for. It just might not be necessary, but here we are. Reset password. Wait a second. Wasn't that in here? Yeah. Okay. I want them to all just have the same JavaScript name. I don't remember what's in here. Okay, I need to write this as verify. Oh. Site templates / verify.html. And reset password. Okay. Those are there, and I think I wrote them in here. Just that one. Okay. Delete that. Alright. This one is reset password. And what does reset password require? A token and a password. And then the new password. All right. And verify. This one just needs a token. I'm not going to do anything to change those right now. Those are just grabbing the data from the forms and printing them. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The site templates, yeah, I'm not so sure if I need to like. Yeah, I don't know if there's much really to do about those, but I'll go ahead and run this so that I have the new files over here. But I'm not going to be able to complete those until I change Crow API. So, which is fine. I don't think that should take long, but I might wrap this up and then go work on that. I don't think I'm going to stream that part, but maybe later if /when I open source it. But yeah, so I'll have, hopefully the next time I stream again, I'll have the Crow API changes through, and I'll be able to actually try to get that whole flow working. Yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, I think I just need to wait until I have the Crow API stuff working. Then I'll have to figure out how I want to store that JWT in the browser. I think a cookie. Just grab the JWT and like store it as a cookie. I don't know exactly how that happens on the front end or how like the browser works with that kind of stuff, but we're gonna figure it out. But I think for now I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna end this stream here. I think there's a decent amount of progress, and I think that's where I wanted it to be for today. So I still have to do profile stuff, and I still have to do statistics stuff. I don't even know what that's gonna look like, but I won't deploy to AWS. I think it's all just gonna act the same way, whether or not it's on my local file system or in S3's file system. But, well, shoot, let's do it. Shouldn't take that long since it's independent. I don't remember what it's called, what the domain name is. I feel like it shouldn't take that long. It's just pushing stuff to S3, right? I don't actually know what it does. Custom resource. I don't know. CDK bucket deployment. Okay. Maybe that's just how it gets files up to S3. But it doesn't look like it's going to take very long. So that's nice. So a little over a minute to deploy the front end. Let's see, if I want to go to sign in. Oh no. .html. Okay, I need to figure out a way to make that not that way. And let's do. Yeah, I have to do that. And it has to say the login, that's what I was hoping for. And I have my email, my password, so that's good. Cool. I'm happy with that. it looks like it's going to function exactly the same way as it does locally. So I'll probably be able to develop the HTML mostly locally before I have to push it, which makes the turnaround a lot faster. I just wanted to make sure that it did in fact function that way with CloudFront. I'm sure there are little like nuances that I won't realize until it's actually pushed, but hopefully those will be less on the core functionality of what the site does. So yeah, I'll go ahead and call it there. If you're interested in using any of this, like I always say at the end of the streams, this is all open source. I normally push it after I'm done with the stream. So feel free to use it. If you want help setting it up, I know that especially now that I'm going to get into the front end and the flow with Crow Auth, it's going to be a little bit different. If you want any help setting that stuff up, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help someone set it up. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.